What's going on, Jerome's? Now that the Minnesota Vikings have their general manager and Kwesi Adofo-Mensah in the building, it's time to find who is going to be the head coach, who's going to be the next dude. Now, Mark Wilf has already inferred that the Vikings' next head coach is going to come from the group of first round of interviews that they've recently had, but I don't know. I don't know, because like we said, Kwesi, given that Poles took the Chicago job and Kwesi was the only game in town, he had a ton of leverage, and that could be a reason why it took so long to work out that contract. So I wouldn't be shocked if Kwesi was able to finesse, hey, I have final say on who the head coach is going to be. So maybe that guy isn't even on this list, but we want to go through the list of head coaches that Kwesi does have ties to. Some of them pretty damn sexy. Two of them were on that interview list, in DeMeco Ryans and Kevin O'Connell. So going back through his Niner days, so he's with San Francisco 2013-2019. He overlapped with some pretty big-time names. Of course, in the middle of that list is Jim Harbaugh. Now, Vikings Harbaugh, I give it like a 1% chance, but it's not zero. And maybe that was the thing. Is like, hey, if Kwesi, who I had a great relationship with in San Francisco, I don't know Harbaugh and Kwesi's relationship, but say that it was good. If he gets the GM job, I trust him to select great players, and I'll coach him up. So I will go to Minnesota if Kwesi gets the job there. It could be. It could be. And no, I'm not saying that the Vikings should go after Vic Fangio, by the way, but Fangio was Harbaugh's DC back in the day, before Harbaugh went to Michigan and Fangio decided to stay in the NFL. So no. Like, it's all fun and games until Vic Fangio is the next head coach of the Vikings, where, hey, we just traded in Zimmer for a less funny Zimmer. Because Zimmer could be funny sometimes, man. Give him some respect. But could Harbaugh show up to Minnesota, bring Fangio with as DC? That would be sexy. Not gonna lie. I respect Fangio as a DC back when he was in Chicago. Stupid Chicago Bears. Nah. And also maybe Greg Roman one time. No, but working more in the realistic realm, DeMeco Ryans, I think, is probably the betting favorite right now to be the next head coach of the Vikings. And no, he's not from an offensive background. But DeMeco Ryans, 1 year as defensive coordinator with the Niners. We've talked about how the Wilfs still remember Mike Tomlin. I mean, they were owners when Mike Tomlin was one and done, and then went on to become one of the best coaches in the league. So since that, DeMeco did have 3 years of overlap with Kwesi in San Francisco, could be an easy connection there. And we talked about, if DeMeco Ryans becomes head coach, you want a fun, young, up-and-coming offensive coordinator. Mike McDaniel, baby. Mike McD. Who? Mike Jones, come over from the Niners, also had 3 years of overlap with Kwesi. And no, he's not the play-calling offensive coordinator with the Niners. He was the run-game coordinator with the Niners as well as the Falcons from back in the day. He was there 28-3. But a DeMeco Ryans, Mike McDaniel combination 1-2, I wouldn't be mad at that at all. Not at all. Kevin O'Connell, Rams OC, again, a non-play calling offense coordinator, but right-hand man to Sean McVay. Did have 1 year with Kwesi in 2016, where Kwesi was working in R&D, and O'Connell was working on special projects. Again, no idea what that means, but that's something to note, since Ryans and O'Connell are the two that have crossover and experience with Kwesi and have been interviewed in the first round with the Vikings. Michael Flohr is an interesting name for the Jets. He's basically OG Mike McDaniel. Like, he was Shanahan's assistant for a long time, passing game coordinator, eventually left with Rob Saleh to go to the Jets when Saleh got the Jets head coaching job, first time as a play caller. Jets offense, yeah, this year, but that's to be expected with a new scheme as well as a rookie quarterback. We talked about Harbaugh and Fangio. So 3 guys on the Browns, and props to our guy, Will Rag at Sports Illustrated, for pointing out Alex Van Pelt and Joe Woods. So AVP, you remember him, is a backup quarterback from back in the day, bounced around the league a lot, former quarterbacks coach for the Packers. But again, another non-play calling, well, partial play calling OC with the Browns under Stefanski. But Alex Van Pelt, AVP, is a respected name around the league, a little bit older. Same thing with Joe Woods. I think they're both in their 50s, but did have 2 years of crossover with Kwesi in Cleveland. Joe Woods, Browns DC, you'll remember the name, was the Vikings DB coach from 06 to 2013, so he survived Childress as well as Leslie Frazier. Didn't make it to the Zimmer regime, but what can you do? But Joe Woods was brought along by Stefanski when he got the Browns job in 2020 to be his DC. And the Browns defense at times was pretty damn sexy. So that is a name to consider. Also, So we threw this out there. So Drew Petzing, and you remember him. He was a Vikings assistant for a handful of seasons before following Stefanski to the Browns. He's currently the Browns tight ends coach, but he would be an intriguing name as a potential offensive coordinator. So say the Vikings do hire a D'Amico Ryans, even though D'Amico, Drew Petzing never had any crossover, but it could be a name that's like, hey, we worked together. We have worked together, but we both worked under Kwesi, so maybe Petzing gets an interview, maybe he steps up, maybe he's going to be the OC, who knows? But yeah, I think Petzing will be an OC eventually in this league within the next couple of years. It's possible. But yeah, if I had to handicap right now, I would say easily the betting favorite is D'Amico Ryans. I would say, how do we break this up? So I'm really good at math. D'Amico Ryans, 60%. Kevin O'Connell, 25%. Harbaugh, 1%. And then I'm going to go Mike McDaniel, 14%. You know, why the hell not? Even though McDaniel hasn't had a formal interview with the Vikings, that doesn't mean that he can't get into the second round. The round that actually matters with the GM, who potentially could have final say-so when it comes to hiring the next head coach. But that's it. That's a rundown of Kwesi's coaching ties. Who is going to be the next head coach of the Vikings? Is it someone on this list? Is it someone on this list? Is it someone that isn't even there? I don't know. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skull Production Value.